Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple's virtual Dharma service. As usual, we'll start the service with the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana, followed by the recitation of the three treasures. The three treasures version that we're going to be using is from the Orange County Buddhist Church. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. How rare and wondrous it is to have been born into human life, and now I live it. How rare and wondrous it is to be able to listen to the Buddha Dharma, and now I am able to hear it. If I do not transcend the world of delusion in this life, when will I ever attain spiritual liberation? May I, along with the entire Sangha, with sincere heart and mind, rely on that which can be truly relied on in life, the three treasures. I rely on the Buddha. May I, along with all sentient beings, awaken to the great path with my entire being and discover the highest aspiration, which is to become a Buddha. I rely on the Dharma. May I, along with all sentient beings, deeply reflect on the meaning of the sutras and gain wisdom that is as deep and vast as the ocean. I rely on the Sangha. May I, along with all sentient beings, become one Sangha of life, able to move forward and live with a dynamic spirit that is hindered by nothing. The unsurpassed, deep and wondrous Dharma, even in millions of kalpas, is extremely difficult to encounter, but now I am able to experience and embrace it. May I come to understand and revere the true meaning of the Tathagata. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. The sutra for today is Gassho to Amida, and this is found on page 123 of the Red Service book, followed by the Gatha, May Peace Prevail. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho to Amida. Trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I Gassho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seeds sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Namandame. 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 The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namanda Visu Namanda 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 Namanda. Morning, everyone, once again, and welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple's Sunday virtual Dharma service. This has been a very, very busy but interesting and also a sad week. Interesting with the annual Buddhist Study Center summer seminar. For those of you who viewed it, I'm sure that you've gotten a whole new perspective into Shin Buddhism. The speaker was a wonderful and animated speaker and gave many, many illustrations and personal stories to explain the Dharma. As you may recall, the speaker was the Reverend Kodo Umezu, who was a former bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America. Well, I missed most of the first lecture on Monday night as I was at the Triple Army Medical Center visiting a man who was formerly from Florida and is currently a member of one of our temples locally. He did not choose to be vaccinated, and so in time he became infected with the Delta variant of the Corona-19 virus. We went to visit him and were allowed to talk to him via a telephone from the outside of the hospital room. But we could see him through the window, the room window. Because he didn't have any family here or even on the mainland, he asked one of the members of his Sangha to sign a durable power of attorney document in case something happens. Well, that took some time to get a notary there to do this, and in the meanwhile, the medical personnel were patiently waiting for all this to happen so that they could put him on a CPAP ventilator. We were told that he would be on a ventilator for a maximum of 2 weeks, and then they need to do what is called a tracheostomy. And once that was done, he would have to be placed in a nursing home facility until such time that he could be released. So it was a touch-and-go situation, as we did not know if a full recovery was attainable or not. It is a very sad situation, and it shows the importance of getting vaccinated. And we were all hoping that he will get better. But sadly, this past Thursday evening, he passed away and transitioned to the Pure Land. So again, for all of us, please send a message out to those eligible but not yet protected to go out and get vaccinated to protect not only themselves but also others that are within their sphere. Others meaning not only loved ones, but co-workers, friends, and even strangers that you may meet along your path of life. Let's all help to protect each other. Please join me in Gassho as I read the words of the third Pure Land Master, Tanwan, or Donran in Japanese. The name of the Tathagata of unhindered light, and the light that is the embodiment of wisdom, dispels the darkness of the long night of ignorance and fulfills the aspirations of sentient beings. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, this morning I thought that I would briefly discuss with you an important concept in the Jodo Shinshu tradition, and it is the matter of the Pure Land. You may or may not have learned that there are two levels or two kinds of Pure Land, according to a Professor Ichiro Ogawa of Otani University. One is a skillful but tentative Pure Land, and the other is the true Pure Land. The tentative Pure Land is taken like a path to the true Pure Land, the primal or 18th vow, and the Tathagata are skillful means by which the true Pure Land becomes a reality. The Amida Sutra mentions a beautiful castle, beautiful music, and many kinds of jewels, and a description of the joy and peace as representing the Pure Land. On the altars of the more traditional Hongwanji temples, there are images of all kinds of birds in the Pure Land, with each image depicting a lesson, a Dharma lesson. I'm sure that all of you have heard the lesson of the two-headed bird, the gumyocho. So I'm not going to describe the story to you at this time. But incidentally, if you should go to the Honpa Hongwanji Betsuing on Pali Highway, the main temple, there is a gumyocho on the right side, as I recall, as you face the altar. So please go there and look at it when you have a chance. These descriptions are actually a story, a way, a skillful means which draws us toward the true Pure Land. Like, for example, riding in your car to get to where you want to go or your destination. The purpose was not riding in the car, but to get to that point. Let me read a few sentences about the description of the Pure Land as found in the Amida Sutra. By the way, this sutra, the Amida Sutra, is one of the three principal sutras of the Pure Land tradition, and it is typically chanted during Obong services. It reads like this. The Buddha then said to Sariputra the elder, beyond 100,000 kotis of Buddha lands westward from here, there is a land called perfect bliss. In that land there is a Buddha called Amida, who is expounding the Dharma at this moment. Sariputra, why is that land called perfect bliss? It is because there are 7 rows of balustrades or rails, 7 rows of decorative nets, and 7 rows of arrayed trees, all made out of 4 kinds of jewels. They extend over and encircle the whole land. For this reason, the land is called perfect bliss. In the history of Pure Land Buddhism, Chinese Pure Land Buddhism emphasized the tentative and skillful Pure Land and not the true Pure Land itself. Because of the Chinese influence, Japanese Pure Land Buddhism also talks more about the tentative Pure Land, about the Pure Land being like paradise. Shinran Shonin, however, showed us that all of these stories are skillful means, just methods to bring us toward our ultimate goal, the true Pure Land. In an analogy, if the moon is the true Pure Land, we oftentimes tend to look at the finger that's pointing to the moon, the skillful means, and miss the moon itself. In Shinran Shonin's teaching, our goal is not the primal vow or Amida. Our goal is the true Pure Land. So then, what is Amida? Amida is like a car ride that takes us to our destination. Amida takes us to the true Pure Land. The true Pure Land is Nirvana. Shinran Shonin says in the collected works that the ocean of birth and death of painful existence has no bound. Only by the ship of Amida's universal vow can we who have long been drowning unfailingly be brought across it. Nirvana is our goal. You may recall the 3 marks of existence, one of which is impermanence, and the second, non-self, and the third is nirvana. Nirvana is the peace that is often alluded to as the other shore. The other shore, as opposed to this shore of suffering and delusion. We often talk about this very thing during Ohigang. Nirvana means perfect calmness and zero. Professor Ogawa describes this zero as non-self, that we are originally non-self. We live in a world of causes and conditions. We live in a world of relation, which is like a web. We are not here by ourselves. We are here in a myriad of relationships. Is a child born only because of its parents? Well, a natural thing would be to say yes. But if that's true, then the parents must have existed before the child. Taking it another way, are there any parents without a child? No. It is because of the child that the parents are there, and vice versa. Both of them must be the cause of the other. I think I may have related to you that in your own families, if you go back just 10 generations, you have 1,024 direct ancestors. And if just only one of those 1,024 were missing, you would not be here today. Because you are here through the internet, and I am here speaking to you. Because of you, we are having this service today. And because of this service, you are joining together virtually. We naturally think that I am here, I exist. However, we exist because of many conditions. And if those conditions are removed, what would remain? The answer is that nothing would remain. This is the meaning of non-self and zero. We are non-self and zero, but because of many causes and conditions, we are here. All things exist because of causes and conditions. So this concept that is known as the dependent co-arising or non-origination. Shakyamuni Buddha taught the concept of dependent co-arising in order to destroy the contemporary ideas of reincarnation. Because people in India at the time were concerned about being reborn in forms other than in a human form. The concept of the realm of the six existences was very real to them. The concept of dependent co-arising demonstrated to them that there is no everlasting soul or Atman, which is constantly being reborn. Nirvana is a consequence of this awakening to this concept. Listening to the Dharma is a starting point for achieving nirvana. We must listen to the Dharma always and then try to live the teaching of non-self or of zero. This aspiration is most important and is expressed as Namo Amida Butsu. Realize that it is not your aspiration, but the aspiration of Amida, and we express our gratitude in the name. There is this story about a small girl playing in an open field. All of a sudden, a dump truck appeared and began dumping piles and piles of dirt until it finally got to be 2 stories high. The girl wanted this playing field, so she started to remove the dirt bit by bit using a small shovel and began throwing it away across the street. Well, meanwhile, an old man appeared and asked the little girl, "What are you doing?" The girl answered that the playing field was covered over by this 2-story pile of dirt. The old man replied, "Girl, that shovel is too small." She laughed and he went away. But before that, she told the old man that no, she can do it, even if it took a long time. Well, the old man suddenly realized what the girl was saying and stopped laughing and became very sad. He realized that he had lost the naivety of a small child. The tea master, Rikyu, once said, "Don't forget the beginner's mind in your old age." Meaning that aspiration is the most important thing. If we have aspiration, enlightenment or nirvana is already contained within it. Without this aspiration, it cannot be realized. Shinran calls it the power of Hongang, which can be interpreted as a power of the primal vow or aspiration. We don't realize it, but it's there. Thank you very much for listening, and now will you please join with me by putting your hands together in reverence as I read the words of Shantao. Shakyamuni and Amida are our father and our mother, full of love and compassion for us, guiding us through various skillful means. They bring us to awaken the supreme Shinjing. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Let's put our hands together and sing the Nembutsu. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. The lotus flower is not stained by the mud. This dewdrop form alone, just as it is, manifests the real body of truth. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much for attending this virtual Dharma service, and we hope to see you again next week at 9 a.m. Next week will be our monthly remembrance service. This time, it'll be for those who have passed away during the month of July and August, because we will not be having any services, live services, in the month of August. So if you do have any loved ones who passed away during the month of July or August, would you please send us the names and a picture if available. Thank you very much, and have a good day.